Hello Aquarius, welcome back to Path of Enlightenment Tarot. For those of you returning to the channel, welcome back, and for those of you who are new, welcome. I am Nicole. Aquarius, this is going to be, like I've told all the other signs, instead of going with a regular reading in the beginning of January, I decided to go with what your inner child wants you to know at this time. Regular readings will resume for the mid-month, but I just thought this was going to be a different way, a nice way to kick off the new year. So we are putting some emphasis and focus on the healing work that needs to be done so that we can move appropriately through 2024. I think I'm going to sneeze. Yes, there it is. Excuse me. Goodness. Intuitively, well, and quickly, this will be for your sun, your moon, your rising. And then, you know, again, I told the others, if you feel this is fitting for your Venus placement, feel free to place it there, but only if it really resonates. So, I might sneeze again. Good grief. I don't know where that came from. It's coming. It's coming. Excuse me. I guess that's extra confirmation this morning that we're on the right track. I don't know. Anyhow, now that I'm congested again, Aquarius, what I heard from Spirit intuitively is to be your own hero, and then I heard the sound of silence. The idea of the sound of silence, which I believe is a song, and I don't know who originally wrote that song, but the word that Spirit is giving me is daunting. There's something about the silence that is daunting. You may feel like you have to, I'm going to call it make noise somehow. And when I say that, it's like to fill that void of silence. It's like the silence is almost uncomfortable all of a sudden. And I'm not sure why. We're going to dive into the cards and see what the cards have to say, but it's a very interesting energy the way this comes through for you guys. So let's jump in. And by the way, I did the daily read. Today is the new moon. I don't know where the hell my mind is, but it's also 1/11, January 11th, so 1/11. So, and then Aquarius, you are the 11th sign in the zodiac. So there you go again. So, you know, protection, divine grace, time. Time comes out for you guys. There's a stillness in this time card for me, for you guys somehow. And I say this, and there's ready but waiting underneath there. It's very, you guys are coming in a strange way. I feel like this period of time, and Aquarius, you know, we've got Pluto moving into your sign here. I think it's the 20th or the 21st. I feel like this is a reflective period for you guys. Spirit is saying the straw that broke the camel's back. There's something that has happened, and, you know, talk about that inner child, right? That it always brings us to a moment, or a moment in time, that it's almost like seeing your life flash before your eyes. And I don't know that this has come out for you, but I want to say at some point it may have. That it's like you get to a certain point, whatever age you guys are right now, that you're looking back and reflecting upon where life has brought you to this point. You could be 30, you could be 60, you could be, you know, anywhere around there. And it's like, I'm here right now. And this is the culmination of events that have taken place over my lifetime. And I'm still waiting for that peace. I'm still waiting for what I feel like I'm lacking. And for some of you, maybe tangibly, you have everything that you could ever ask for. Everything you could ever want. Or you're just at peace with what you have. The flip side of that is what is lacking in the heart space. What was missing over the years that have brought you to right now. And I'm trying to find the best way to put, the way they're bringing it in is like by picture rather than by words. So I'm trying to find the best way to put this into the human form for you all. like there's a silence to you. And what I think is interesting with these two cards is her lips are tightly sealed and shut. You may feel like you've never truly been seen and never truly been heard. And it's not, I don't even feel like it's a point that someone else has said your opinion doesn't matter. It's like you taking a back seat to your life and just watching everything happen. Making moves along the way, but never opening up about it. Never speaking on it. Spirit just said a lot of you could be quiet right now because you're questioning your belief system. And with you, or with Pluto moving into Aquarius, that has a lot to do with everything that's happening right now and what's going to happen for the next 20 years. So it's I kind of feel like your mind is scattered in all of these different arenas that maybe don't fully make sense to you, and going, this might be the piece of what's missing for me, whether this is in your work, your love, your family, whatever this is. But it's a very interesting way to view this. And oh God, Spirit just said some of you could just feel dead inside from all of the experiences that you have had to date. You guys always come through with a really interesting energy when I read for you. Reaction and perception. Spirit said it's been disappointing, to say the least. I think that people see you, Aquarius, as somebody who really has it all. Like, and I don't know why I want to say that with this reaction and perception, but it's like other people see you as having it all, and yet they don't see you happy, truly happy with where you are. It's very, very interesting. Very interesting. Let's see. What else for Aquarius? Trying to make heads. I feel like if we get a few more cards, this is going to kind of tie up and make sense, but that's just the way that the messages are coming in for you guys. So for Aquarius, what does their inner child want them to know, Spirit? What does Aquarius's inner child want them to know? Clarity coming out in the sideways position, and then rediscovery. That is the inner child. You see her right there, right? The innocence. Taking yourself back to a space of innocence. Here's the thing. You guys have incredible minds, incredible intellect. Like, you see things very, very differently than most people do. It's kind of, and I don't mean this in a negative way. Like, there are people who are extremely book smart and have no common sense, and there are people who are street smart and have it all together. And when it comes to the books, they're just like, that's a foreign language to me, right? That's kind of how this feels to me for you guys, is that there's certain parts of your life that it all just jives for you, and there's other parts that just doesn't make any sense whatsoever. And I feel like for you all that you don't understand things on a level that most people can break it down. You know, call it heads in, your head in the clouds or whatever. But it's like the missing piece here is having pure understanding of your existence, why you're here. Like, it's almost, a spirit just said, is this all I signed up for? This is it. This is what this experience has been. So it's like, again, looking back over the time frame of however old you are and going, so I was brought here, I did all of these things, I've had these experiences, and I feel like I'm missing something still. Something still doesn't quite add up here for me. Spirit is saying that this has to do with your purpose. Okay, so let's dive in. I really don't feel like your reading is going to be very long. I can't help but say, like, because as much as you guys are open, I mean, if you're here, you've got to have an open mind, right? But at the same time, it's like you're not fully open and or awake to certain aspects of things. It's a weird vibe, okay? And I don't mean it like, and I'm not knocking you. I mean, for me, like I could just use the example of like growing up and going to school. Math was like a foreign language to me. I couldn't stand it. Like it drove me nuts. It was always that thing that just, I could have straight A's and then there was that. But then you give me science or writing or something and man, I straight A's all the way, and it was a cakewalk, right? So it's like our strengths and our weaknesses. So I don't mean it like in a sense of like, you don't know what you're doing, Aquarius, because you do, but it's like discovering what is missing for you. What's missing? The love aspect. Getting in touch with your emotions. I'm going to say, Aquarius, for a large part of you, there has been a point in life, and I'm going to, inner child, right? Going back to our childhood, going back to the very simplistic nature of who we are and what we were taught. And also, past lives, Spirit is also addressing this. Is the experience in totality, not just here, right now. The missing component here is love. Coming from an open heart space, and then, or needing to come from an open heart space, and then wondering what is alchemically missing. You think about the magician, they're giving me the magician. He's got a pentacle, he's got a sword, he's got a wand, and he's got the cup. And I can't help but get this vibe that the cup is the thing that's missing. That open love is missing. It's like I gotta think my way through everything I do. I gotta strategize, I gotta plan, I gotta take action. And I said, you guys could have everything under the sun tangibly that you want. It's like you can manifest the shit out of it all. You can be very resourceful through it all. But is there love that is nurturing those things? It's the connection to other people. That's like the missing component. I hope this is making sense. The harmony that, I think for some of you, you've had these people in your lives that you leaned on, connected to, right? It's our human nature to lean on and connect to other people. But it wasn't about, you love the idea of, right? And I'm not saying that none of you know how to love, so please don't take it that way. But it's like getting into that deeper emotion. Like, oh, this is love. This is my person. This is my partnership. These are my kids. Of course I love my kids. But everything is done, it feels like in a cold manner. And, you could have had parents that were like that. They weren't affectionate. They weren't compassionate. They weren't that gentle hand. They were like, this is just how you do things. It's kind of like an old school mentality of just do your work and now it's bedtime. Go to school, now it's bedtime. Go out and work on the farm, it's bedtime. Whatever your upbringing was like, everybody's is going to be different. But it's like there feels like a need for you as like a space of survival to stay outside of the flow of emotion. Okay, so I hope that's making sense. But it's like you see him here. I'm going to show you this. P.S. Got to say it. 1111. You are the 11th sign. It's on that card. Then you've got this card. Love 29 breaks down to an 11, which then breaks down to a 2. Partnerships, right? And we're going to see a lot of emphasis on that here this year in 2024. Oh, but my point here. Sorry. He's sitting out in the open fields of those emotions, and you see where she is. She's removed from that. They're behind her. Spirit just said they're beneath her. It's too much work. It's too much energy. It's too much vulnerability. It's too much to open up to love. You could have I'm going to say you guys could have a very detailed understand, and it's weird because it's like you have a very detailed understanding of what this love is, but to actually implement it. So you could have researched and all these other things. Give me 1 second, guys. Okay, so sorry about that. You could have researched and studied, and you could be a psychologist and be an Aquarius, right? You have this deep knowledge of how this works, but then how to implement it in your everyday life seems to be the challenge. I want to say to you, Aquarius, go back to the moments of childhood for yourself and think about what it was that you needed more than anything. What it was that you wanted. Was it closeness? Was it friends? Was it someone to just place their hand on yours and go, everything is going to be okay? That's compassion, right? That's kind of how this feels to me, is that is the thing that lacked. And now, you know, adult life, how do I do that for myself? How do I do that for others? How do I actually implement that space of love? How do I bring in that fourth element? And Spirit just said, by them. By getting in tune with them, and not saying again that you're not, Aquarius. I'm not trying to beat you guys up today, I promise. But to allow yourself to feel by way of what Spirit is able to provide to you to help you face the challenges that you feel that you are sitting in at this time. Okay, so there's the Divine's message. All right, what else for Aquarius? That was quick. Stop trying to overpower and control cat hair. No reading would be complete without cat hair, honest to goodness. Cat fur. Stop trying to implement and control how this happens for you too. Consistency. I feel, again, some of you feel like you have lacked the consistency in vows. This is all about partnerships. All about partnerships. And seeing things out, you know, you guys tend to see things out in like the big realm, right? Like looking out at the stars. With this consistency card, which is Cirrus, and then the vows. It's, you know, there's always like this hope of looking out and looking up and going, is that where my freedom lies? Almost kind of feeling too like you're not a part of anything, like you don't belong to certain things, because it's like it's always within grasp, but it never quite gets there, or things tend to fall apart when you feel like you're on the precipice. For some reason, they're saying like it's like being in a 19-year marriage, and it's like, wow, that mile marker is that 20 years, right? That's a golden anniversary, and then at 19 and a half years, your spouse is like, I want a divorce. It's like, we almost made it, didn't we? We almost had it all. Whitney Houston, we almost had it all. And that's kind of this feeling, again, with this, you could have everything you wanted, but then there's just one thing missing. Almost had it all. So, I feel, I can't help but feel, Aquarius, with this reading, that it's like this, there's this fiery pit of burning desire that sits within you for more. But it's always coming up short, and I say that, and then you look at this dynamism card, it's within his grasp, right? It's within reach, but it's just not quite there yet. And then you take a look at this consistency. She's reaching for the star, but she still can't quite grasp it. It's a missing element, right? It's a missing marker there for that. So I hope that this is providing insight, I guess. I hate to say. I hope that this is resonating for you, because I feel like I've said that a lot. I hope this makes sense, but that's how this is coming through. And I think part of this too, Aquarius, is a constraint of boundaries that you have placed around yourself and your way of thinking. You know, and again, these readings are meant to help us, give us insight to what it is we need to work on. Or, you know, maybe what that missing piece is here in this case for you guys. So don't see this as a bad thing. See this as, okay, now my attention is aware. You can't correct something if you're not aware that doesn't exist, or you're not willing to see it fully for what it is. So don't see it as anything negative. So, all right, love. What is this about? They're saying address the time space first. Okay, so for Aquarius, what is time about, Spirit? Queen of Wands and Four of Pentacles. Again, it's holding on to the memories of the past. It's holding on to, it's almost like you guys don't want to share. All right, like you don't want to share. You kind of want to hold back and stay reserved, that you're seen as beautiful, and that you're seen as abundant, as you're seen as knowing. Very smart, even though it's the Queen of Wands. She's very, She's very intuitive, right? She's very beautiful. She's very poised and got it together, and she's fun-loving too in the midst of it all. And I do feel like that's how you guys are coming through, but the deeper knowledge of the connection is where the hold back, that Four of Pentacles, it's holding back. Are you afraid you're going to get hurt? More than likely, right? So what is this time? Ace of Pentacles. You got the Three of Wands and the Queen of Wands again. I do think that with each change in the season, is what Spirit is saying, there is always an opportunity here for you to do it over, or to do it again, or do, in your eyes, maybe do it right this time, right? I do want to clarify this Ace of Pentacles though too. For this Ace of Pentacles, Aquarius, there's that Ten of Cups coming out sideways. Who was that? I said there's a lot of hope and optimism for happiness, right? And again, I can't help but say, like, it feels like it's in the grasp. You know, this in time, like I said earlier, it's like your light flashing before your eyes. The Six of Cups is the card of nostalgia. It's walking from the very beginning of our lives to where we are in this moment, 21:21 on the clock, and dreaming. As much as that is the card of Pisces, Aquarius, again, free thinkers, like, oh, what if, right? I feel like for some of you that when you've opened up on an emotional plane, or you've gotten your expectations up, or you've been daydreaming about certain things, Ten of Swords, backstabbing. It's almost like backstabbing yourself, or feeling like other people along the way have backstabbed you, which always, again, falling short of that full Ten of Cups. But again, it's feeling like you're getting older without certain aspects being fulfilled. I'm going to say for a handful of you, maybe more, you could have had a mother who struggled with addiction issues. I don't know where that's coming from. That's what Spirit just gave me. Whether this was in regards to men or substance abuse or whatever, but there was like always this distraction sort of energy that comes in with this person. They were never fully available, you know. So for some of you, that's going to be the case. For others of you, this is just not that you had a bad family life. It was just, it was not expressed. Okay? So, it's like Spirit is saying just to be grateful, to be thankful, to live in a space of appreciation. It's like you've been jaded. You've been jaded by life. You know, and who the hell hasn't, right? But we can't live in that energy because it overtakes everything else that's good in our lives. Love, Seven of Cups. It doesn't make sense to you. How two people come together and actually make it work doesn't make sense. Yeah, I think it was Taurus's reading. I said, you know, the Seven of Cups for them, anyhow, it was, ooh, is this the thing? For you, it's not about, ooh, is this the new thing? Is this going to be the thing? This is, I don't understand the thing. I don't understand how love works. Like, how do people just get into this emotion and just go, oh, this is great? Because every experience I've had where, oh, this is great, shit got turned upside down. Soulmate, contracts, partnerships, twin flames, however you want to label it, right? Aquarius, King of Swords. I don't feel like you've ever fully given yourself. There's always this reservation. This page, this Page of Pentacles in this deck is like a reservation to me, because you see the typical page and they're moving on and they're like, here it is, like they're offering it up. In this deck, she's holding it back for herself. How much have you truly given? And it's like a fear that you won't have. You know, so for some of you growing up, it could have been, you didn't have anything. Maybe there was love, but there was nothing else. You know, it's going to, again, differ for all of you what's led you to this point. But having everything that you could ever want and knowing that that's what we did. That's how we did. That's how we did it. But not having the love to alchemize what you had. Again, I hope that's making sense. But to you with the love, it's like there's nothing about this that doesn't get confusing. There's nothing about this that even makes sense, because if this person's got this good trait, they've got 10 bad traits. It's like, it's that kind of flow, and it's just like not being able to make heads and tails of how love genuinely works. Okay? So what is this clarity about for Aquarius? All right. Six of Wands. You guys are cute. Hangman. Give credit where it's due here, Aquarius. It's called a two-part series. There's a space within you with this need for clarity that says, once I get this clarity on the way this works, I will have achieved my success in this life. And to me, that is also talking about your divine purpose of getting that different perspective of why you have felt let down by things. It's like you kind of hang on to the discontentment, the disappointments, the sorrows, the hurt, the pain. When you look at love, that's how you associate it. Is it lets you down, it hurts your feelings, it leaves you miserable. My pentacles never made me miserable. I've got the resources to go do this. I've got a car, I've got a job, I've got a house, I've got these things, right? It's an accumulation of things. But love has always hurt me, whether this is pertaining to your children or to a spouse or family. Like, it's been the one thing that one way or another that has always let me down. And Aquarius, I think the important thing for you to understand in this is that you are successful when it comes to love, because you've had the experiences to give you the insight and wisdom into what you don't want as opposed to what you do. It's not looking at the things in the negative sense of these experiences have been shit. It's, I've had these experiences, and yes, they've been hurtful, and yes, they've been painful, and Spirit keeps saying to me with this hangman, hang that shit, like, you've hung it out to dry. Like, nope, I'm good. Leave it over there. No water here. It's going to flood me. Leave it out to dry. But the experiences brings you into understanding of this contrast of, this is what it's been. Now I know what I don't want. I know how to look for the flags, the red flags, the green flags, the yellow flags, the whatever flags, white ones, black ones, it doesn't matter. So now I know how to address this in a better fashion. It's Spirit asking you. And I think there are times too, Aquarius, where you kind of start to jump into that feeling. And most often when you do, the tears kind of build up. The hurt starts to come out. You have to start to feel that energy shift within you. You feel that change. Don't be afraid of those emotions, because remember, they're temporary. You just have to work through them. Easier said than done, I know, right? Like, shut up, Nicole. Like, you think I don't know this? But it constantly, when you're not resolving those things, you're forever left in this space of reliving the disappointments that have come in for you. And it's like you're trying to outrun them. And I feel like a lot of the times, Aquarius, too, you're meeting up with people, you're coming into union with other people, whether it's friends, work, family, doesn't matter, that are highlighting this for you. And sometimes I think you tend to embrace that a little bit. Then you start to feel it again, and you're like, okay, hang that shit out to dry. Put it on the laundry line outside in the yard. Like, I don't want to deal with this right now. I've got other things to focus on. But then there's also this knowing that success is on the other side of that, but there's a fear of dealing with those emotions. Okay? So Spirit is asking you to be consistent in your efforts of dealing with the emotional plane. What is this dynamism about, Spirit? Four of Cups. Bored, discontent, not seeing, and there's this Ten of Wands, Knight of Cups on the other side of that, and the Four of Swords, Two of Cups, and the Death card. Or no, that's the Ace of Wands. So again, it's like this healing aspect that is asking you to address it. And as much, I love the Four of Swords. I do, because it's about the healing. It's about a period of rest, right? Taking the time to nurture ourselves. My complaint with her is it's a sword. It's mental. But that can be mental exhaustion too. The idea of love creates massive burdens within you. The idea of having to deal with partnerships is just exhausting to you. But then it's like, I can't help but feel again, Aquarius, that there's a drive to want that. That drive within you does exist, but you continue, Five of Cups, right? With the Four of Cups, excuse me, you're continuing to see what hasn't come to fruition, rather than jumping on the other side of where the rainbows and the butterflies are. Okay? Again, like, I feel like you're stopping yourself from having these experiences because of your past. Spirit said your soul was ready to love again. So if you've had issues with maternal figures, or you've just had disappointments over the years when it comes to loving energy, this doesn't mean that that's just the way that it's always going to be, but you also have to believe that that's not the way that it's going to be, because if that's what you see it as, that's the way it's going to be. And Spirit just said too, in regards to that, aim for the people that are your equal. You can't heal. Like, this may not be the best example, but, and no offense to the men out there, but this is the example I'm going to use. If you're an older male, and maybe you have a daughter who, for whatever reason, just, there's no closeness there. You can't seek a partner to nurture them in some capacity, or to give to them to make up for what didn't work out with somebody else. You're trying to heal a situation by the means of going outside of that situation. You've got to heal the situation from that particular area of life. You can't bring somebody else in and try to make up for it because this didn't work out, or maybe where you felt you came up short somehow, right? We all have faults, and it's okay. But we can't heal. We can't do for somebody else to make up for what didn't happen here. Or, you know, you think about it in this regard too, that growing up, maybe you and your parents weren't close, and, you know, your mom wishes she would have done something differently with you, so her way of course correcting, instead of addressing the situation between you and her, is, I'm just going to treat my grandkids a hell of a lot better. And they might be the best grandma ever, right? The best Nana, the best Nona, the best Grammy, whatever, that has ever lived. Like, they are amazing. But that still doesn't change the sore spots between you and them. You see what I'm saying? I hope that you can't heal that outside of the original situation that brought you to this point. Okay? Focus on you rather than, and that situation, rather than trying to find someone else or some other way to resolve that. So it's like, you know, people say, oh, that's the mother I've never had, or the daughter I've never had, or the brother or the sister that I've never had. Great, but there's still a wound attached to the one that is there or was there and you've had this experience with. Okay? So again, I hope I'm describing that the right way for you guys, that it's, you know, clicking, I guess. All right, advice here. What else does Aquarius' inner child need to know, Spirit? Coffee cup, meeting, talking, savoring the moment, feeling elevated, building friendships. It always very much starts off that way, and you have to be open to that. That understanding that something as simple as, and they're showing me like two people like meeting up for lunch or coffee or whatever this is. You can that's where you start to build genuine partnerships. Again, it doesn't have to be romantic, but that's where you really start to gain that understanding of how to connect with another person. What I think is very ironic here, Sword and Rose comes out. It is clarity, and it came out sideways. Look here. That clarity card came out in that position. The only card that came out like that, besides the Ten of Cups. So you've got clarity a second time coming out sideways. Revelations, honor, protect, determination. Aquarius, again, I can't help but feel like there is a fire within you that says, I want these things. I want to dive into this. But it also requires you looking at the full truth and nothing but the truth of situations. And that's just required of you. And it's asking you to have faith through this situation, okay? Whatever you're dealing with. One more card. Look at. See, this is it. This is exactly, I was like, is this love? This is love. You've got, look, twice again, love coming out. Do you see that? Twice. Unconditional love, self-love and wholeness, affection, attraction, selflessness. And underneath that, underlying all of this, is healing the heart. Healing heartbreak, toxicity, or addictions and abusive relationships. Your inner child wants love, Aquarius. Your inner child is begging for love. Your inner child wants you to nurture it. And to nurture the situations around you. Love is a tough thing for you. And it's okay. It's all right. I just want to tell you, it's okay to see it as a challenging thing. But don't forget to love yourself and also love the healing journey. Love doesn't make you confused. The mind makes you confused. All right. Last bit of advice for Aquarius, please, Spirit. Divine talents. Family of light. Spirit is saying coming in together with harmony. Like, again, this is, talk to your guides. Talk to your guides. Open up to them before anything else when you start on this rediscovery of this love. Let that be the thing. Okay? Let that be the thing. Love is not the four-letter word like the F word. But that's, I feel like it's how you associate it. It's like, God, that four-letter word. Ugh. Got to be kidding me. It's a good four-letter word. It's not a bad one. All right? Aquarius, I'm going to leave it there. I hope this message helped you. If nothing else, divine inspiration is what I just heard from Spirit. I'm sending you guys so much love. Take care of yourselves. I'll see you soon.